Hey carnivores, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Bella, the Steak and Butter Gal. I hope you all are having an amazing meat-fueled day. And as always, I'd love to know how carnivore diet is going for you. Feel free to drop an update down below in the comments. Today, I want to share with you my perfect, optimal carnivore diet food list. I will go through all of the best foods that you can possibly get at any grocery store. Easy to find, okay? These are not going to be difficult treasures to find on a carnivore diet. They're optimal foods to help with the most popular carnivore goals. I've been in this carnivore community for 5 years now. I've been living this amazing lifestyle, and the most popular questions that I've ever gotten since day one is, what can I eat on a carnivore diet if I want to lose weight? As well as, what should I be eating on a carnivore diet if I want to promote deep healing? So we're going to focus on these two categories. What should you be eating? What should you be avoiding if you're trying to achieve fat loss? Now, I prefer using the terms fat loss instead of weight loss, because if ultimately you just want to lose weight, any weight from your body, just go vegan, okay? That's probably the best diet you can eat to just lose weight. I have personal experience, ex-vegan here for 6 years, and I lost bone density. I also lost a lot of muscle mass. But if you want fat loss and you want to retain that healthy bone density and that healthy muscle mass, then I will be going through the absolute best foods if that's your goal. But I will also be covering in depth and in detail what types of foods you should be eating and what types of foods you should not be eating if you are trying to promote healing, whether that be hormone healing, autoimmune healing, healing to bring down inflammation so you don't have joint pain. We'll be going through that as well. So let's just go through the most basic carnivore diet food pyramid. This will really give you a good skeleton, a good understanding of what you can explore, play around with as a carnivore. So the bottom biggest chunk of this food pyramid is ruminant meat. What is ruminant meat? Ruminants include cattle, goat, sheep, deer, elk, buffalo, camel, giraffe. These animals are unique because instead of having one compartment to their stomach, they have 4 compartments. Basically any red meat, okay? Anything that's in the category of red meat will belong in this bottom part of the food pyramid, ruminant meat section. And this is probably the best food you could possibly eat, regardless of what your goals are, by the way. So all of these foods apply to fat loss. All of these foods apply to healing, and most definitely all of these foods apply to wanting to gain healthy weight. Flanken beef short ribs, life-changing. And there is a reason that I brought this food up before any other cut of meat, because it truly is hands down probably my favorite food of all time. Flanken beef short ribs is different from your usual standard American short rib cut. I'll put photos up so you know exactly what they look like. If you don't see these Flanken short ribs, then you can always request your local butcher shop to cut that cut for you. The best place to get them for cheap is Costco and your local grocery store chain markets. So here in Washington, I see them always on sale, like manager's special discount. I don't know why nobody wants them, but I always get all of them. Kroger chain markets, Ralph's, QFC, Safeway, your usual standard grocery store that's not very high end. I always see these Flanken short ribs massively discounted in those shops. How do I cook the Flanken short ribs? I just pop it in the oven, 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 to 45 minutes. Forget about it. The oven shuts off automatically. It's really low maintenance. And if you're wondering what the paper is, it's called parchment paper. I line all of my baking sheets with it, no matter what I cook with in the oven, and I can just throw it away for easy cleanup. The next ruminant meat that I think all carnivores should take advantage of is ground beef. You don't have to get 80-20 ground beef. You can most certainly get 85-15 or even 90-10. My current favorite ground beef of all time is from Snake River Farms. Wow, I've never tried any ground beef as delicious as Snake River Farms. I think it's 80-20 ground beef, but they actually label it as Wagyu ground beef. So it might actually be higher fat than 80-20. My best tip to keep a carnivore lifestyle cheap as you can possibly make it is ground beef, eggs, butter. There's nothing cheaper when it comes to carnivore diet staples, and these 3 ingredients give you so much to explore in variety of the way you cook it, the way you serve these meals. I have a complete carnivore diet meal plan, and I will make sure to link that down below in the description box. Chuck eye steak is the poor man's ribeye, okay? So if you are looking for a fatty, tender cut of steak that you can get for a much lower price than ribeye and filet mignon, definitely try to get your hands on chuck eye steak. Besides beef, the only other type of ruminant meat that I've really played around with and enjoyed is lamb. Now, my all-time favorite cuts of lamb is the lamb chop. So delicious. It's fatty. It's basically like eating a carnivore lollipop. Perfect amount of fat on the edge with the most tender meat that you can possibly find. And I just cook it quick flash sear, done in 3 minutes. So let's break down this ruminant meat category for all 4 categories. Okay, what are the 4 categories? We have fat loss, healing, healthy weight gain, and newbie carnivore. Newbie carnivore, let's start with that. If you are a newbie carnivore, you just started, you can explore everything there is to explore that this ruminant category can provide you. Don't even worry about whether or not it's grass-fed or grass-finished. You should just eat whatever you can afford and whatever tastes good to you. Now, let's say you have a lot to heal, specifically autoimmune issues, whether that be skin issues like me, eczema, psoriasis, cystic acne, rosacea. The best thing you can do is focus on fatty ruminant meats. And to add another layer of nuance, try to make sure it is low histamine. If you're trying to heal from autoimmune issues, you really don't want to eat anything that might flare up the issues you currently have. So this is why I highly recommend you focus on low histamine, the most anti-inflammatory foods. That's going to be your key takeaway there. You want grass-fed, grass-finished, highest quality as possible, and also the freshest as possible. So you don't want to go for extremely aged meats that's been hanging and aging for a long time. You want to go for the non-aged, freshest meat possible. So this is where I have to shout out Billy Doe Meats. They only sell non-aged fresh lamb. You might not know this, but most of the meat that you buy at grocery stores, even butcher shops, it's been aged for quite a long time. It's actually quite difficult to get your hands on non-aged, completely fresh meat that has not been hanging and sitting there for days, weeks, months. So when you focus on eating only fresh, high quality grass-fed, grass-finished meat, it will really help promote healing without causing any flare-ups and added inflammation along your initial journey. Now, down the line, you will most likely be able to tolerate other types of meats. So don't feel like you will have to be chained in this box of only eating high quality grass-fed, grass-finished lamb, beef only. You will be able to open up that diet once you have completely healed your issues. I see this time and time again with my long haul healers in the carnivore community, in my community, the Steak and Butter Gang. I really get to observe closely and learn so much from the members who share consistently with these carnivores who come into this lifestyle desperately wanting to heal serious health concerns, autoimmune or not. And they do focus on starting off higher quality, non-aged, as low histamine as possible, and they heal tremendously. Such deep healing. And over time, they are able to open up their carnivore diet options and enjoy a lot more variety. All of the foods that this ruminant meat category can provide you will support you in these goals. This is non-ruminant meat next. What is non-ruminant meat? My top recommendations in this category that are also cheap and delicious: pork belly, and I mean fresh pork belly, not bacon, okay? I usually see it for $6 per pound. Why do I prefer fresh pork belly over bacon? It's because you can control what spices, seasonings, what ingredients are in this pork belly meal that you make. Especially if you can't find a high quality, clean ingredient bacon, most of those brands have sugar snuck in. There's just too many questionable ingredients. So fresh pork belly is the safest, cleanest bet. I also love chicken party wings because they are so cheap. Chicken party wings, I always get it for under $5 per pound. So these two are probably the best for newbie carnivores who want cheap options. With seafood, I eat it as a treat meal. I currently only eat wild-caught seafood now. Whenever I celebrate anything with friends and family, I will include some delicious, high-quality wild-caught seafood. I usually enjoy my seafood raw, sashimi style. I grew up eating Japanese cuisine, sashimi included. I love salmon sashimi, but the cheapest, easiest seafood you can cook that is extremely nutrient dense and delicious is shrimp. If you can get your hands on some wild caught shrimp, Costco sells it for cheap. All you have to do is do a flash boil, then ice it, chill it, enjoy it with some melted butter. It is the best appetizer. It is such a great carnivore dish if you want to bring in variety and something refreshing, because you can enjoy it chilled. If you're a newbie carnivore, you can enjoy everything this category has to offer. If you're trying to heal, this category might be hit or miss for you. It really all depends on you, your body, what your body can take and tolerate where it is now. But I've seen a lot of healing carnivores say that they are not able to tolerate any seafood. Seafood just gives them flare-ups. In many cases, they actually give them full-on allergic reactions. A lot of people are actually completely allergic to shellfish and a lot of seafood cuts, fish included. So just be careful when playing around with seafood and fish if you have a lot of healing to do. This is also why healing carnivores tend to avoid pork and chicken. I know I certainly avoided these foods in the beginning because of its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. It is higher in omega-6s, which cause these foods to be more inflammatory. If you do want to play around with pork belly or maybe party chicken wings, then I highly recommend you go for pasture-raised pork and pasture-raised chicken. Now, if you are trying to gain weight, of course, you can enjoy any and all of these foods. And if you're trying to achieve fat loss, I would still say feel free to enjoy any and all of these foods in the non-ruminant category. Now let's move up to the next level of this food pyramid, eggs, okay? Eggs are one of my favorite carnivore foods. There are so many ways that you can cook eggs. And I know that most of you have already tried my egg pudding. If you've been subscribed to this channel for a while now, you know how much I love my egg pudding. I grew up on egg pudding. It is such a perfect baby toddler food, and I just remember eating it every single morning for breakfast. It is a traditional Chinese dish. I will make sure to link the recipe down below in the description box if you want to learn how to make it. Within this egg category, it includes all bird eggs, chicken eggs, goose eggs, duck eggs, quail eggs, whatever eggs you can get your hands on, enjoy those eggs. But there's also fish eggs that we often forget. So I've seen topiko, masago, and ikura. Sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm not Japanese, I'm Chinese. I've seen these fish eggs at any local Asian supermarket. Do a quick Yelp or Google search, Japanese supermarket or Korean supermarket near me. Korean and Japanese supermarkets will often carry these delicious fish eggs at a really good price. Fish eggs are incredibly nutrient dense. They pack a ton of healthy fatty acids as well as amazing omega-3s, and I love them because they are so flavorful. Some people don't like it because of its fishy flavor. Let me know if you've ever tried any type of fish egg, which type, and if you love them down below in the comments. If you're new to a carnivore diet, you can eat everything and anything in this category as well. I recommend duck eggs over chicken eggs if you have a lot to heal. Duck eggs are just gentler on the body. They're easier to tolerate, especially for my deep healers on the carnivore diet. They also don't tend to flare you up, and the flavor is a lot more mild than a chicken egg flavor. Most people would think duck egg, oh, it must have more of an eggy flavor. It's actually the opposite. It's more mild, it's more gentle, and it's also easier to tolerate for those who have a lot to heal. The egg white is actually the most inflammatory part of the egg, and a lot of new carnivores looking to heal just tend to not be able to tolerate that egg white initially. The yolk is where all the fats and good nutrients are anyways, so I highly recommend you play around with just eating the yolks, whether it be the chicken or the duck egg, before introducing the egg whites. This especially applies for those who are looking to heal autoimmune issues, specifically those who are looking to heal skin issues like eczema, psoriasis, and rosacea. I've learned that the egg white is very prone to causing inflammation and flare-ups for those who really want to heal autoimmune issues. Again, once you are healed and you are fully adapted to a carnivore lifestyle, you can actually reintroduce these foods back in and be able to tolerate the egg white, the entire egg, more eggs, different types of foods in general. So I encourage you guys, if you're a healing carnivore, to really focus on eating anti-inflammatory foods, to be patient, and to just enjoy the process of healing and nourishing your body. If you're looking for fat loss, I would not cut out this category of eggs at all. I think eggs are an amazing food that promotes body recomposition and fat loss. And finally, if you're looking to gain weight, eggs could really come in handy to help you eat more without feeling like you're eating more. Why? The dish called scrambled eggs opens you up to a whole world of being able to fit more than you think you can fit. There's something about cooking up fatty scrambled eggs that can really help you pack in the nutrients, the calories, just the sheer amount of food without making you feel nauseous or overly full. When I finish eating that dish of, let's say, 12 scrambled eggs with a whole half stick of butter in that, I felt truly so satiated, so good, so calm. But at the same time, I didn't feel that wave of nausea or feeling of just being sick to my stomach because I ate way too much. So that's one of my best tactics for those who are trying to gain healthy weight. You want to eat as much scrambled fatty eggs as you want, but make sure when you cook those scrambled eggs, you pack in as much animal fats as you can possibly pack in. And by the way, scrambled eggs are so absorbable. They really just eat up and absorb whatever fat you put into that pan, and it becomes only fluffier and only more delicious. You can understand why this dish is so wonderful and so useful if you're trying to gain weight. Okay, now let's move up to the next tier of this carnivore diet food pyramid. This category includes all dairy products and animal fats. I'm gonna start with animal fats. There's a reason why butter is in my handle. I actually ate a ton of butter when I first went carnivore, and thankfully, even though I had a lot to heal, I was not sensitive to butter at all. Now, when I started my day one of carnivore, I was living in New York City. I was still pursuing my master's degree. I was able to easily get my hands on raw dairy. So I actually started carnivore with a mix of pasteurized butter, which is not raw butter, and unpasteurized raw butter. What is the difference between raw and pasteurized? Pasteurized is just not ideal. Raw is ideal. Why? Because pasteurized goes through a heating process where all those amazing, beautiful enzymes, probiotics, and bacteria that really help with our gut health, our digestion, that's all killed in the heating process, which is why it's called pasteurized. Whereas raw, unpasteurized dairy products, it is not touched, it is not heated up. All of those amazing probiotics, enzymes, and bacteria is fully alive. You can eat it and enjoy the benefits of having that in your digestion and in your gut. It's also easier to digest. So luckily for me, when I first started, I was actually fully able to tolerate pasteurized butter. But when I did compare my experience eating raw butter, I always felt better. Not to mention, raw butter has a better flavor profile. You just get more of that richness, creaminess, milkiness in raw butter as opposed to pasteurized butter. The downside is raw butter is just illegal in most states. It is almost impossible to get my hands on raw butter when I'm not in California or New York City. But I will make sure to link the best sources to find raw butter and raw dairy near you down below in the description box. I have found websites and sources where you can get your hands on raw dairy, even if it's illegal in your state. So check out the description box. Now, other animal fats include tallow, pork lard, suet, beef fat trimmings, duck fat. These are the most popular carnivore fats. Cheese obviously is a very popular food. The whole raw versus pasteurized also applies to cheese. So if I could choose any cheese, I would always go for raw unpasteurized cheese. Again, because you get so many more nutrients in that food. You get those amazing probiotics, enzymes, and bacteria, and it is just easier to digest without it causing flare-ups. And other foods in this category: cream, heavy whipping cream, sour cream, cream cheese, and then there's milk. Again, the whole raw aspect versus pasteurized also applies to all of these dairy products. So if you can get your hands on raw dairy, it is always going to be better for you and easier to digest than the pasteurized version. If you are a new carnivore, newbie carnivore, again, you can and really should enjoy all of the options this category can give you. I think the only exception is milk. With milk, it's just more problematic because of the carb content. If you're trying to lose weight, unfortunately, dairy products tend to cause weight gain because it is so palatable and because it is higher in carbs. Milk does have a lot of carbs in it. It is also very, very palatable, and it tends to open up your appetite. For those who are trying to get fat loss, I would really start playing around with cutting down the dairy products, specifically milk, heavy whipping cream, cream in general, sour cream, any dairy product, cheese as well. Unfortunately, any dairy product except for butter. I think the only safe foods for those who are trying to get fat loss in this category is the animal fats, including the butter. I see plenty of carnivores, men and women, start dropping weight when they eat more butter. Now, is it guaranteed that if you eat more butter or more animal fats that you will lose weight? Obviously not. Every single person's body is going to react differently to when you increase your fats. But what I know for certain is when you add more fats to your carnivore diet, you will see more healing. You will make your hormones happy. You will calm your body down. And for a lot of women especially, they need to up their fats to go through this healing process before they can achieve any type of fat loss. I have plenty of interviews talking about this whole phenomenon where women and men as well tend to gain weight before they start losing weight. I myself gained 25 pounds before I reached my ideal body weight and body composition. So if your goal is to lose weight, I would not fear the fats. In fact, I would do the opposite. I would embrace the fat. If you're craving for fat, chances are your body is needing that fat for a reason. If you are trying to heal, for a lot of sensitive carnivores, they cannot tolerate butter because of the small amounts of lactose in the food. So instead, you can play around with ghee, Ghee. It's clarified butter and it tends to resolve the issue. It's going to be more gentle and easier to digest. For my sensitive carnivores, butter may or may not work for you. But again, if you can get your hands on raw butter, it most likely will do wonders for your healing. Something about raw butter is just so delicious, it's so palatable, and it is so easy to digest while being so nutrient dense. My favorite brands are Truly Grass-Fed and Vital Farms butter. I personally eat unsalted because I just love the flavor like that, but you can of course go for whatever you prefer, salted or unsalted. If you've played around with raw butter, pasteurized butter, and ghee, and it still is causing inflammation and flare-ups for you, then the best animal fat you can possibly get your hands on, it is the most gentle for your body, is going to be beef fat, okay? The raw form is called suet. Suet is the kidney fat. It is all the fat that's surrounding the kidney. If you want beef fat trimmings, this is going to be any fat off of any part of the animal. Both types are incredibly gentle, very, very high in stearic acid, incredibly healing. You can eat it raw, or if you can't stomach that, you can air fry it. Just air fry it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes and it comes out as these delicious, crispy, fat snacks. If you're trying to gain weight, this is where I actually encourage you to really embrace this category. This category is really going to help you put on healthy weight. It's going to help you open up that appetite in the healthiest way. It's going to help you be able to put down more food, more nutrients in the easiest way possible. So embrace all of the cheeses that you love. Add cheese to everything. Put sour cream over all of your meals. In fact, you can even drink a cup of milk with all of your meals to really promote that healthy weight gain and opening up that appetite. Now we get to the very top of the food pyramid, which I include electrolytes and organ meats. This very top triangle of the food pyramid, I actually categorize as totally optional. You do not have to eat it if you don't want to. So organ meats, yes, they are a superfood. They are packed full of nutrients and vitamins. But if you don't want to eat organs, you don't have to eat organs, okay? I'm 5 years into carnivore. I don't eat organs at all. I did have a phase with experimenting with organs, and I would eat those organs completely raw. And I remember I could not even stomach the flavor of the liver that I was eating every single day. So I cut it into tiny little pieces and I froze it. And I basically just swallowed it like a vitamin. This is optional. I don't really feel like it's an essential part. And especially if you're new, please do not stress out and freak yourself out feeling like you have to incorporate organs of any type. Of course, there are those carnivores who absolutely love the flavor of organs. And if that is you, I would love to know which organs you love to eat. Which organs do you incorporate in your carnivore diet? Feel free to share it down below in the comment section. If I had to choose a favorite organ, it would hands down be tongue. Tongue is so delicious. And if you've ever been to a hot pot and tried tongue at hot pot, you know just how delicious it is. Now, the other half of this category is electrolytes. So for electrolytes, I find that most new carnivores who come into this lifestyle, they definitely need these electrolytes. They definitely need electrolytes to feel their best. A lot of carnivores just simply need to salt very generously on their meals. If you are getting these adaptation symptoms like the leg cramps and the headaches and all of that, then I recommend this high quality electrolyte by Element. It is spelled LMNT, and specifically this box in the teal colored banner, it is called raw unflavored. It's great because it really is just the raw ingredients, sodium, potassium, and magnesium, without any stevia, added flavorings, nothing but just the 3 electrolytes. These are what the little packets look like. You just rip one of these packets open, pour it in whatever beverage you're drinking, mix it up, drink it down, and you are good to go. You all can get a free sample pack like this with any purchase if you go to the URL shown on the screen, drinklmnt.com/SBGAL, and I've also linked it down below in the description box. One thing I will say with salt and electrolytes, I do notice that the longer that one is carnivore, the more long-term and experienced you are with this carnivore lifestyle, the less you need with electrolytes and salt. I see a lot of long-term carnivores slowly wean off of their need to salt at all. And I personally am one of those no salt carnivores. I actually know quite a few carnivores now, including Dr. Anthony Chafee, who does not salt anymore at all as a carnivore. It doesn't matter which category you are in. If you feel like you just don't really have a desire to salt as heavily or add salt at all, you might be able to just completely let go of salt from your carnivore diet. And if you're worried about not getting electrolytes and minerals in your carnivore diet, if you eat your meat rare or even medium rare, you are getting plenty of electrolytes and minerals. And also, if you eat a lot of seafood, you are also getting plenty of electrolytes and minerals. Now, the last and final category is processed carnivore foods. So this includes bacon, cold cuts, deli meats, things like prosciutto, sausages. These types of processed foods I really only recommend to 2 categories. If you're new to carnivore, and if you are trying to gain weight. New to carnivore because, again, I want you to have as many options as possible to really enjoy everything that carnivore diet can offer. For those who want to gain weight, this really helps because it is so palatable. There are so many seasonings, flavors, salt, spices in there. It can really help open up your appetite and get you to eat more. Now, with those who want fat loss, these foods can be problematic because it can promote inflammation. A lot of these processed foods are high in histamines, which is, again, also not great for those who are trying to heal. Bacon, sausages, you'll frequently find have nitrates and nitrites in them, as well as a lot of spices and seasonings, which are high in oxalates and also high in histamines. These foods are processed, packaged, and sitting on the shelves for who knows how long. So the longer these meats are sitting on the shelves and aging further, the higher the histamine count will go up. Definitely be careful with processed carnivore foods like bacon and sausages if you are either trying to lose weight or if you have a lot of deep healing to do. If I missed any food or category that you love as a carnivore, I would love for you to share down below in the comments so that we can continue to learn from each other's carnivore experiences. If you are looking for a community to keep you accountable, to get support from, as well as a team of carnivore coaches and experts to learn from, get advice, guidance, and support from, I highly recommend you check out the next 30-day carnivore challenge. If you've been curious about the priming, feasting, and fasting program, this is where the entire program is taught as well by Coach Raymond and Emily, and all of the beautiful faces shown on the screen right now will be guest speakers in the upcoming challenge. Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Tony Hampton, Dr. Robert Kiltz, and Coach Rebecca Heischman. If you'd like to learn more details about what this challenge includes and what you get as a member, feel free to go to the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com, or check out the links down below in the description box. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Turn on the bell and notifications to not miss my future new videos. All right, I will see you in my next video. SVG out.